A core functionality of any modern web application is keeping track of our users between requests. We could add a unique identifier to every URL, but this makes our URLs hard to generate, hard to read, and hard to share. In our previous video, working with cookies in PHP, we discussed how to use cookies to track our users, but they have some downsides. They're limited in their size, require us to transmit them back to the server with every request, and can be modified by harmful actors to try and break our application. In this video, we'll discuss how to use PHP Sessions to get past those limitations. Hello developers, and welcome to PHP Developers TV, your home for everything you need to know to be a knowledgeable PHP developer. I'm your host, Scott Warren. What are sessions? A PHP session stores data on the server rather than on the user's computer. Users are given a unique number called a session identifier, or SID. SIDs are used to link the user's request to their information on the server. The SID is stored in a cookie and transmitted with every request. Session data is now then accessed through the session global variable. The nice thing is that we can modify the session data anywhere within the request and not just before we start sending our requests, unlike starting a session. A session is started with the session start function. It again must be before the body is started because it uses the headers. And we must call it with every request if the session information is necessary. During this process, PHP creates a random 32-character hexadecimal value to track the user. We then send this to the user in a cookie named PHP Session ID. PHP, in its default configuration, uses a file on the server to store the session information, which is stored as SESS_SID in the correct directory. Working with session data. PHP stores session variables in a global variable named session. It is an associative array, and because of that, we can use the PHP array function. In order to set a value, we just set it like we would a normal associative array. We can unset it to delete it, and we can modify it as well. Terminating a session. If we want to terminate the session to forget all of the information about our user, for example, they might be logging out, we have two options. The first is the session unset function, which removes all of the session variables but keeps the session active. We can also use the session destroy function, which completely destroys the session. You will have to decide what works the best for your application, but we recommend session destroy as it wipes everything out. Session Handler Interface. The Session Handler Interface is an interface which defines the minimal prototype for creating a custom session handler. We can use the session set save handler to enable this, and it's helpful for creating a custom session handler. It's not really needed for most developers, but if you want more information, check out our article, Migrating Sessions in PHP, linked to in the description. Important settings. Configuration for sessions is controlled by the php.ini settings. Some of the important ones are the session save path, which controls where the session files are stored, session cookie lifetime, session cookie path, session cookie domain, and session cookie secure are all cookie settings that are directly related to the parameters in the setCookies function. See Working with Cookies in PHP for more information. What you need to know. PHP's session support allows us to retain sensitive information on our server, and lots of it. Sessions use cookies to have the user identify themselves between requests. Sessions need to be started before sending the body, and session variables are accessed through the session global variable. As always, thank you for watching our video. Please make sure that you subscribe, comment, and like, as it does help others find us. Do you want to help support the channel? Find us on Patreon. We would love it, and we'll include your name in our list of supporters in each video. This is Scott Warren for PHP Developers TV signing off and reminding you to keep coding.